Hi everyone, my name is Teacher Christian and I am your teacher for today. So today we're going to learn something new and something fun and we'll talk about English. So let's start. So for today, we'll discuss about the comparative and superlative. So these these things are actually used for describing words. And most of the things that we describe when we use comparative and superlative are actually adjectives and adverbs. We will learn about the different degrees, which are three of them. And let's start. So, of course, let's understand what is a degree of comparison. So degrees of comparison are used when we compare one person or one thing with another. You can never compare with only one thing. When you compare, there should be here and here. Let's say, for example, oh, this one is bigger than this one. Oh, the boy is taller than the other one. So it's very simple. Now let's continue. Now, the degrees of comparisons or the words of degrees of comparisons may be used to describe an adjective or an adverb. When we say adjectives, these are the words that describes nouns. So, if you already know about nouns, these are the names of places, cities, or any other words that we commonly use. The other one would be adverbs. Now, adverbs are actually words that describe verbs. Now, if you haven't known any of these two, we're going to talk about that later on. Now, let's continue. Now, there are three degrees of comparisons. So, the first one is positive degree. The second one is comparative degree. And the third one is superlative degree. Now we will learn at the next slide what are the differences between the three degrees. Let's continue. The very first one is the positive degree. The positive degree gives us information. So let's say, for example, pretty, green, smelly, and small. Did you get it? All right. Another example are big, friendly, smelly, and spotted. Can you try using the word big? Very good. You can say, the cow is big. The cow is friendly. The cow is spotted. And the cow is smelly. Alright, now let's go here. Another examples are dangerous, proud, graceful, and terrifying. Now can you use these words to describe the lion? Very good. So we can say the lion is dangerous. Alright, now let's go here. The next one is the comparative degree. So when we say comparative degree, it came from the word comparison. When we say, or compare. When we say comparison, it actually asks or describes two things together. Now let's try to go back to the first slide. Okay, so this one. Look, what are the two things that are being compared in the picture? All right, we have the bee and we have the bird. Now, look at the sentence. The bee is smaller than the bird. All right, so if you're gonna look at that, the bee is definitely smaller than the bird in the picture. Now, look at the sentence. Is there any difference between the positive degree sentence and also the comparative degree sentence? Very good. if we're going to look at the highlighted one, it actually has an ER at the end of the adjective. So when we compare two things, we usually add ER at the end of the word that we use to describe. So for example, small, smaller. Now let's read the sentence. The bee is smaller than the bird. Very good. Now let's continue. Look at another example. Now what are the two things that were being compared in the picture? That's right. We have the butterfly and the worm. What do you think are the words that we can use to describe these two things? That's right. Pretty. Now, if we will use it in a sentence and we add an ER, we say the butterfly is prettier than the worm. Now here, the example here is IER. Now, there is a rule when it comes to the comparative degree that when a word ends in Y, we change it to I and add ER. So for example, pretty, we remove the Y and change it into I, and then add ER. That explains prettier. Did you get it? All right, very good. Let's try another one. Now look, what are the two things that are being compared in the sentence or in the picture? That's right, we have the ant and the cockroach. Now let's read the sentence. The ant is slower than the cockroach. All right, you're already doing good. Very good. Now let's go and continue. Now this time, we'll talk about the last degree of comparison, which is the superlative degree. So it's like the strongest out of all the 3 degrees. So the superlative degree is used to compare 3 or more objects, people, or places. Now look at the picture. There are 3 animals or insects being compared there. We have the ladybug, we have the fly, and also the grasshopper. Anybody scared of bugs? Teacher Christian's not. All right, now let's try to use them in a sentence. The ladybug is cuter than the fly, but the grasshopper is the cutest of them all. Now look at how the sentence is constructed. The first sentence, or the first part of the sentence, is actually being compared between the ladybug and the fly. So there, we use the word cuter. We add ER because this one is considered as a comparative degree. Now, if we're going to continue with the but, the grasshopper is the cutest of them all. That means to say that we are already comparing 3 objects or insects together. So, we use the EST. Now, when we have the superlative degree, we will not now use the ER, but instead we add plus EST after the base form of the adjective. So, for example, cute, cutest. Pretty, prettiest. Do you understand? All right, great job. Now let's continue. This is another example. What are the 3 things or insects or animals being described in the picture? That's right. We have the worm, the snail, and the spider. Good. Now let's read the sentence. The worm is faster than the snail, but the spider is fastest of them all. So same rule applies here. So the worm is being compared to the snail, but the spider is being compared to all. That's why we use the word fastest. Did you get it? Great. Now let's continue. Okay. Now look at the sentence. The yellow butterfly is prettier than the blue butterfly. but the pink butterfly is the prettiest of them all. Can you try to think of 3 words or 3 objects and try to use the superlative degree? Alright, great. Let's continue. Now here are the different rules that I've said before. Now the first rule is add R and ST to the words that ends in E. This is the positive degree. Here is the comparative degree. And here is the superlative degree. Safe, safer, safest. Wide, wider, widest. Tame, tamer, tamest. Great. Now look at the examples. Please read. Large, larger, largest. Great. Let's try to read another one. Tame, tamer, tamest. Now look, here is the next rule. Rule number 2. If the words end in Y, change the Y to I and then add ER or ES. Let's look at this picture. Tidy, tidier, tidiest. Happy, happier, happiest. Lucky, luckier, luckiest. Did you get it? Good job. Amazing. Let's go here. Now look. Another example. Let's read. Heavy, heavier, heaviest. Another example here. Dirty, dirtier, dirtiest. Now look. Easy, easier, easiest. Now here's rule number 3. When the word has a short sound, the last letter... Okay, let's try that again. There. Now again, when the word has a short sound, the last letter must be doubled when adding ER or EST. So for example, let's read. Big, bigger, biggest. Hot, hotter, hottest. Sad, sadder, saddest. Alright. These are the examples. Big, bigger, biggest. Wet, wetter, wettest. Rule number 4. When the word has 1 syllable and ends in 2 consonants, add ER or EST. This is the most common practice. Smart, smarter, smartest. Black, blacker, blackest. Cold, colder, coldest. These are examples here for rule number 4. Smart. Oops, some error. Okay, smart, smarter, and smartest. Right? Small, smaller, and smallest. Young, younger, youngest. Rule number 5. Some words do not follow the rules. So this is actually the tricky part. You know, in English, there are also what we call exemptions to the rules. Sometimes they don't follow the normal procedure or the normal protocol that we use or rules that we apply when it comes to the English language. And that actually makes English a little bit difficult to understand. But if you take everything into it, you will definitely get it right. Now these are the words that do not follow the rules. For example, good, better, but the superlative one is the best. Bad, worse, And the last one is the worst. Much, more, and the most. Look. Bad, worse, the worst. Good, better, the best. Another one here is the words that are with 3 or more syllables are actually added more and most before the word. We cannot say beautifuler or beautifulest. It's not. This is also another tricky part. So just remember that if it has 3 or more syllables, you have to use more and most at the end or before the word. More for comparative and most for superlative. Let's try. Let's try the examples here. Expensive, more expensive, and the most expensive. Just a quick tip, actually, when we use the superlative degrees, there is a possibility, or almost a possibility, that we always use the before the degree of comparison that we use. For example, the bag is the most beautiful of them all. So when we see the, there's a big chance that you're already looking at the degree of comparison, which is superlative. All right. Dangerous, more dangerous, and the most dangerous. Alright, so we're done with our lesson for today. So get out your whiteboard or paper and choose the correct form of the word. Are you ready? Ready? Alright, let's start. What's the answer? That's right, it's bigger. This one? Dogs are tame. Very good. There's only one. How about this one? Birds are cute. Bunnies are cuter. But the cats are the cutest. Very good. Next. Butterflies are blank than grasshoppers. Okay. And here, lions are blank than spiders. That's right, more dangerous. And here, yesterday was hot, but today is even hotter. And here, please give me the biggest apple. Okay, and here, Ben is the blank boy that I have ever met. Kindest. And here, today is blank than yesterday. Colder. Another tip, when you see the word than, there's a big chance that you're actually going to use the comparative. We use than to compare two things. So when you see that, that's already comparative. Okay? Here, Jack is blank basketball player of the season. Good, better, the best. Very good. Now we're done with our lesson. I hope that you were able to learn a lot from our lesson for today. And join me next time to learn a lot when it comes to the English world. So thank you very much. My name is Teacher Christian once again. You have a lovely day. Goodbye.